All right. Wondering if you could tell us like what it is you guys do or trying to accomplish.
The Stepping Stone Foundation was created to give children who have very low levels of literacy in their home the same kind of chance that affluent young children have. So we look for families that have young children, 3 or 4 years old, and while they are in a high quality preschool, those parents who have a low level of education are also required to attend adult education and then take parenting classes so that we break that cycle of a literacy driven poverty. Mm-hmm. And so we're really there to give needy kids a chance, the same kind of chance their affluent peers have.
Okay. And so basically your goal being to stop.
We have 2 goals. So there's a short-term goal of having kids at risk of school failure ready for kindergarten on the same par that affluent kids are. Mm-hmm. There's a long-term goal of, we know studies have told us that those kids that are more prepared in kindergarten are more likely to graduate high school. Mm-hmm. And so the second long-term goal is to get kids not only to graduate high school, but then to go on to to college, basically. Mm-hmm. And so we also have some programs with that in.
Now, what are like the requirements for people to get into like a program like this?
There's 4 basic requirements. So they have to have a child that's 3 or 4. That child has to be potty trained.
Okay.
The 1 or more of the full-time caregivers needs to be in need of their GED or English classes. And then finally, because we're geographically small, they have to be located near that preschool. We don't bus, so they have to be able to walk to that campus.
No, so you have a specific location.
We do.
And where is that located?
Currently, our teaching site is just at Westwood Elementary, which is 23rd Avenue and Camelback. Okay. And a lot of folks that don't live right in Phoenix, that sounds like Camelback. That's where all the rich people live, right? But once you get past Central, that is not the case. And
yes.
Driving over here, I'm sure you've seen it. So that's actually a very high-need neighborhood. We've been lots of different places, but right now funding is at an ebb, and so we're down to that one.
So, like with more funding, you would be able to open up more places?
Yeah, I know for a fact right now we could go to 2 different local sites and another up in Gila County, which is nice. Miami.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Well, so what other kind of problems do you face, like, with this, like, besides funding?
Sure. And I'm sure that is the big nugget, right? Is funding.
Yeah,
so
always.
Let's say I had all the money in the world.
Uh-huh.
The next biggest bump in the road, I suspect, would be to find and partner, because our model is to find and partner with public school districts that will have free space for us to come and deliver our service model. So marketing, not necessarily to people who need our services, but to people who will partner with us to provide those services. So that would be probably the next biggest item.
So if someone were to reach out to you right now and say, hey, we have an opening, we have a space for you to use, you wouldn't be able to do it unless you had the funding.
That is absolutely correct.
So it's a matter of both.
Yeah, hands down, for us, it's all about finding the funds and sustainable funding. So another thing that we are looking for, and we've had different models on the drawing board, is how to sustain the funding. So the state of Arizona does not fund preschool. So that's not even an option for us to go to a government entity. The federal government, I'm sure you've heard of Head Start, does fund preschool. They don't give us enough funds to provide preschool for everyone that's in need. And Head Start doesn't do exactly what we do. They don't require the parents to go through all of the different items that we do. But it absolutely, for us, it comes down to funding. Now, we've been around long enough, 22 years, that former preschoolers are now exiting college. And so our hope is in the next 5 years,
they'll start.
Exactly, just like a large college would hit their graduates.
And whatnot.
Right, exactly. Right. So that we hope that will provide a legacy of funding. And then, of course, there's always often I have to see how I want to form this. The larger picture is, why does this need exist? Why aren't these kids coming to school ready And so what we're trying to do is break that cycle and put ourselves out of business. That should always be a nonprofit's mantra. We want to put ourselves out of business, but that involves something we do not do, which is advocacy down at the state legislature. So it has always been in the back of my mind, how could we do that? How could we just make the need go away?
Yes.
But we're not set up for that. And so when you think of how you could help us, that's one thing. When I have student groups come in, I always pose that larger question to them. How do we fix the system, not this one little symptom? Okay. So I went down a rabbit hole.
And so, where would you say like the majority of your funds come from? Like
it's like a
families, or
it's about 1/3 grants from local trusts and family foundations. It's about 1/3 of event or other typical fundraising activity, like we qualify for a charity tax credit, etc. So. And then the other third is from individual donations. So yes, it's like former participants giving this, but mostly it's wealthy individuals that give us a $2,000, a $5,000, a $10,000 check.
Okay. So like you could run charity events and
we do. We have a 7-year-old legacy event called Cena y Serenata, which means dinner and serenade. And so many of our participants are Hispanic, Spanish speaking, and so the local Hispanic community comes together and we bring, it's a dinner auction. It's very typical, but what's unique is we bring local Hispanic bands and talents and dancers, etc., to come in and perform. So it's we try to create a win-win there.
So is that yearly or
every year? The next one is in March.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have to design something for you now. The requirements for this design are broad, I guess you could say. They recommend either a Facebook or a Twitter account. We also thought possible Pinterest or Instagram accounts. If you don't have those, they said wristbands, like those like little rubber ones, although I don't know how we do that.
Yeah, because we need a budget for that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, we have a Facebook page that no one maintains.
Okay.
Because nobody knows how. And
Oh no.
We had a former student
Okay.
build it for us, and she has a young child and she has a full-time job and she can't maintain it. She promised to build it, she did it. So we do have a Facebook page, but of course, if nobody's maintaining it and answer, it's kind of useless.
Yes.
But I would, if you could figure out a way for us to maintain that, that would be a very cool project. Now let me tell you, the real reason we haven't picked it back up is this office you're sitting in is donated to us by Climate Tech.
Okay.
But the downside of that is they screen out Facebook. And
really?
I have no access.
So you can't get it on the computer.
Right. So even if I wanted to spend office time on it, and actually I would, or I have 2 office interns, one of them could do it. We can't do it from here.
Building.
I have to go home to do it, and I just don't have the energy.
Do you know if there's any other sort of websites, like can you get on Twitter on this computer?
When we're done with the interview, we'll check, but I do believe I can get on Twitter.
Okay.
I don't have a Twitter account, so that would be a cool thing.
Okay.
And what was the last social media? I know about Pinterest.
Pinterest, which I was kind of seeing, but at the same time, it's more for pictures, so we have to go through some of your pictures or anything like that.
It'd be a little bit too much.
Yeah, and then
and where's the mutual benefit? So what's Instagram? I know I've heard of that, but I don't know what it is.
It's in the moment pictures that you post automatically where people can see. So it's sort of like Facebook where you're posting a status and you're kind of getting people's attention, but you're using pictures.
Yeah.
So in this case, it could be like, oh, we're at a fundraising event, snap a picture, you post it, and people can see right now what you're up to, and that would be a fundraising. Or whatever other kind of event comes up.
Yeah. So I am most interested, although I do see advantages to a Pinterest account too, but we're back to who will maintain it and keep it current. So let's back up a little and talk about the Facebook. That would be a great benefit to me.
Okay.
Even if I can give you the information to log on ours, you get it updated and ready to go for us, and then you give me just a short cheat sheet that I could give to any volunteer that could go home and update it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just a
that
matter
is
of
something we could do.
that, and that would be of great benefit to me.
Okay.
Or creating Instagram and doing the exact same thing. So.
I'm the marketing director for my sorority, so I am in charge of like everything, social media and everything like that.
What do folks your age? I mean, I know it's a combination, but what is most common?
Twitter,
Twitter is
Facebook
becoming
is kind of
very big, and
yeah.
Instagram's another big hit. Facebook seems to be more on the downside
That's
now.
what I think too.
But I've noticed a lot that Facebook is used more for adults. Especially like my parents' age right now, they definitely look at
totally
it.
Agree.
And they're on it a lot.
Yep.
So that is something I would see more as your clientele.
As far as donor clientele.
Yes.
Exactly.
As far as so now the other thing we do that we didn't talk about is when our former preschoolers reach high school, we reconnect with them, and we have a scholarship for them, and then we stay connected with them through college. And so there is that other market for us, is to connect with those college-age kids and be sure that they stay connected to us. Not just because they're potential donors, which they are, but because we want to know that what we're doing is working, and so we want to know what job did they get, where did they go, are they local, so I see that either way.
I see Twitter though being a bit of an issue because I feel like older people don't quite understand as well, especially because my uncle was just at my house. He was at my house this weekend, and he's looking at Twitter, and he goes, "What's a hashtag?"
Yeah.
I don't know what a hashtag is.
At least I know what a hashtag is. I don't quite understand how that makes your message more resonant. But
the hashtag is a way for people to look something up.
Right.
So.
Right. But how would I know to look that up?
Exactly.
And so you have to pair it with another media, right? I mean, you have to pair it with a television show, or you have to pair it with a social group or something. So, okay, thank you for explaining.
Yeah. But, so Twitter could be beneficial because it's easy. It's only 120 characters that you can put in one post. So simple, sweet, and to the point. So that someone's not reading through this big, long post. They read it and they know what's going to happen. So there's benefits to that, but I don't know how many more, like if you'll have less viewers on a Twitter than you would on a Facebook.
Right.
So,
especially if we're really talking about the high need, which is fun.
And if you're looking to hit the biggest number, I think
so we're back to
Facebook would probably be the easiest way to go. And I mean, Instagram would be nice, but how often are you at a fundraiser being able to snap a picture? You're usually
once
here, right?
Once
usually here, so you gotta snap a picture of your desk daily.
So the other thing would be, I mean, every year we have an annual celebration, and our kids and families are featured. So, but I'm thinking 4 times a year would that come in handy as far as Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I totally agree. Nice, we might have it someday, but as far as bang for buck, I think we're back probably to Facebook.
Facebook, I think, would be the best and easiest thing for you, especially because it's really easy to link articles on there as well. So if you had an article or links to your website, and
this is it. If I could just get it on my phone,
I would get the Facebook.
I could walk out in the parking lot and update it.
Yes.
I have it on my phone.
You could.
In fact, it's linked to my phone email, and it says.
All I'd have to do is give you the information.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Now,
I crave information.
Here's the thing: we could make it really simple, where it doesn't even have to be a Facebook account, but more a Facebook page.
Yeah, actually, that's what.
Okay, cool.
Which means that there's more than one person that can edit it. So we would have editing, you would have the editing, and whoever else you wanted to could have the editing.
Perfect.
So we would put you in charge, and you could just basically allow certain people to edit it,
Perfect.
and then you can edit it, and then they can post for that person, typically. But, I mean, you can go either way. You could either do the Facebook page, or we could start from scratch and do a whole Facebook account. But that would be more like someone adding them as a friend, more than rather than being a page.
Let's do the page. That's what we already have, and I already have followers.
Okay,
God knows
that
why.
would be good. That's good. It starts.
When we set it up,
off.
we hit it hard, and we told people just go like us on Facebook, and they did, and so we have those followers. Yeah, I think they're called a follower.
And then
yeah.
I think yeah, exactly.
That's more Twitter, but I don't know how the.
I know.
We have likes. That's usually what it is.
We have likeys. That's what we have. We have your likers.
For maintaining the Facebook page, sharing is very easy. That's what we do for our website. We just say share this picture, and it pops up on our page, so other people, our followers, could see it. So if there's pictures that other families are posting, you could post it, or like articles.
And I
of
think
you
that
guys.
would be very regular.
Exactly.
We could do that at least once a week, and it's
Mhm.
very possible every day during the weekday.
Mhm.
And I could assign a volunteer your Monday, your Tuesday. I mean, I think that could really work.
Exactly. So I think that's a great thing, and
Yeah.
I mean, even with Twitter, like I could post a thing on Twitter and say, "Go like this page," and like.
Oh yeah, there's a lot
of things that we could do to get it out.
It's not even like we could have you guys post on your personal Facebook pages, going, "Hey, we just started up. We refreshed our page. Go and like it if you haven't already." Or we could make like a stack of little note cards or something that just say, "Here's our Facebook page. Like us."
Mm-hmm.
It could be as simple as that.
That would work for me.
Okay, so Facebook.
Facebook it is.
Facebook it is. Now,
so before
do you
we
want
leave, we'll need the information.
I would just say, in fact, the best thing for me to do is just find it and forward it to you. I'm trying to think. It's been so long. I know I could do this. So when our interview's over, or do you want to record that too? Because I'll just turn around again.
It's probably not necessary. We only have a limit of 2 minutes for this video
presentation.
That we have to
it's in 60 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna
yeah.
cut this down very much.
We'll just put us talking for 30 seconds right there, and we'll probably end up voicing over most of the stuff that's said anyway. So this is more for us to look back and go, okay, this is what we said, and this is what we agreed on.
Plus, you can prove to whoever's running. This is an online class.
Of course,
that you actually
yeah.
They're really here. This is not video game.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds good to me.
Very
so
nice.
we're gonna go back and brainstorm.
Yeah.
And then
I'm gonna see if I can give you the.
And if not, I mean, we can always start from scratch. But if you have something set up already, it would just help out that much more.
Why reinvent the wheel? First of all, guys, let's talk about that follow-up time.
Okay. Yes.
What do you?
You
think we can make this work?
The only afternoon that I'm available is Wednesday, and that's the latest we can make.
So Wednesday afternoon, I have a 3 to. Let me just open this and be sure what it is. 3 to 4:30. So I can do a video chat if we can figure out how to do it on my cell phone at 4:30, right after this event.
Okay.
I can do it at 5. You want to try that?
I am free. All I have is a class 3 to 4:15.
So that actually sounds really good. Video chat, because I could probably bow out of this a little bit earlier.
What about you? Do you?
I'm done with classes
Actually,
at
I have
3.
Vimeo. Do
so.
you guys do that?
Vimeo?
I've never been able to make it work.
I've never even
Heard of it, yeah. It's just, here's Skype. It's right on my phone.
Should I end this?
Yeah, it's fine. We're good.